Coming up this time on Art Rocks, music is a foundational pillar of the Black Church in Louisiana. We'll meet a group that is striving to keep the old spirituals alive. That's this time on Art Rocks.
Art Rocks is made possible by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and by viewers like you.
Hello, welcome to a special edition of Art Rocks with me, James Fox Smith of Country Roads Magazine. This week's show will dive deeply into the inextricable relationship between music and the Black Church. Many African Americans have long considered the church to be at the heart of their communities, from the time of slavery through to today. Generations of families have remained close to their churches for many reasons. One of them is the music, the spirituals and gospel standards that have long been a source of solace and inspiration to the church communities that keep the music's flame burning brightly. Clarence Jones is director of the world-renowned Heritage Choir in Baton Rouge. Jones has studied, played and taught music for more than half a century, sharing the history and the meaning behind the music, as well as the songs themselves. This history and the lyrics and harmonies with which it's told is inspirational stuff, so settle back while Mr. Jones tells his story. You're in for a moving experience.
When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand, let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. And most of these songs took up stories from the Bible. But the Pharaoh was the slave owner during that period of time. The whole thing was a yearning for freedom, being kept in bondage. My children are being taken from me, they're being sold off. These are the kinds of things that the songs talked about.
Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua. The battle of Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua. The battle of Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. Talk about your kings of Gideon. Oh, and you can talk about your men of Saul. Oh, yes, you can talk about good old Joshua and the battle of Jericho. Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua fit the battle of Jericho. The battle of Joshua. The battle of Joshua fit the battle.
These were authentic songs of the slaves. Back in the earlier part of the 1900s, John W. Work was at Fisk University. Went around different parts of the country, for the most part in the Mississippi Delta. He was able to sit in and listen, and he was a musician, so he was able to write the music out. He was able to collect more than 6,000 songs that were spirituals created by the slaves. The spiritual is really the only authentic folk music that was created in this country.
Poor man Lazarus, sick and disabled, dip your finger in the water, come and cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. He had to eat crumbs from the rich man's table. Dip your finger in the water, come and cool my tongue, 'cause I'm tormented in the flame. I'm tormented in the flame.
There's no other country that has anything like the Negro spirituals. The Fifth Jubilee Singers were organized by George White. They were able to travel across the country and even into Europe, and they raised all kinds of money singing Negro spirituals to support Fisk University. The spiritual, it's not like classical music. If you did Bach, Brahms, or Beethoven, one of the classical musicians, they had certain rules of composition that they had to follow, depending upon the periods that they were in. The slave could not read or write. There were no rules. And you will find in black society, this exists in a number of things that we do. There's this thing called improvisation. Your mother could not read a recipe, but she learned to just put that thing together. And it might have been different in a little way here, a little way there. But that improvisation was the mother of a number of different music idioms. The first idiom was the spiritual.
I want Jesus to walk with me. My soul, Jesus to walk with Jesus.
Steal away to Jesus. Steal away home. I ain't got long to stay here. Music is essential to our Sunday morning services. It sets the mood for the minister who brings the word. As you know, during slavery, our people weren't able to bring or practice their religions from Africa. They weren't allowed to speak their own language. They weren't allowed to play their drums as they had played in Africa, and many of the things that they did in Africa, they were forbidden to do. However, our people understood that certainly there was a higher being. Now, they were allowed sometimes to sit in the back or in the balcony of certain churches, and they were able to hear the word and understood that there was preaching of the gospel that related to that higher being. And they understood that they needed to relate to that in the drudgery that they had endured in the daily life of slavery. They started to sing these songs. They were work songs, message songs. That was their newspaper also.
Every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Yes, every time I feel the Spirit moving in my heart, I will pray. Upon the mountain I was born. clouds came far and slow. Look all around me, it looks so fine. Till I asked my Lord if all was mine. Every time I feel the Spirit's moving in my heart. Moving in my heart. How great. Yes, every time I feel the Spirit in my heart.
Let's see, probably put it in this key. I've been buked and I've been scorned. I've been buked and I've been scorned. Children, I've been buked and I've been scorned. I've been talked about, shows you born. There is trouble all over this world. There is trouble all over this world. Children, there is trouble all over this world. There is trouble all over this world. It comes back with, ain't gonna lay my religion down. Ain't gonna lay my religion down. Children, ain't gonna lay my religion down. Ain't gonna lay my religion down. The whole thing was about I've been buked and there's trouble all over this world, but the ending message was, in spite of all of that, ain't gonna lay my religion down. The spiritual did a large number of things to take care of the needs of the slaves. We talk about what it does in the church today. It did even more in the slave life. Sometime it was giving messages about what they needed to pass along in terms of codes.
There's a great camp meeting. There's a great camp meeting. In the promised land. In the promised land. There's a great camp meeting. There's a great camp meeting. In the promised land. Oh, walk together, children. Don't you get weary. Sing together, children. Don't you get weary. Shout together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home, tell all my friends I'm coming coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. The spiritual was the psychiatrist. Sometimes they needed the relief of saying, there's a better day coming. Hallelujah. And it was a message of hope. And how can I get through this day to get to tomorrow? And whatever's coming at me tomorrow, how can I sustain myself? The Indian said, this is a good day to die. And the black man says, how can I make it through this situation today and exist for tomorrow? And once I leave this place, how can I go home to live with Jesus? When I was a kid, folk would sing these testimonial songs when no one was playing. Those songs had more meaning and more lasting qualities about them because they are about their relationship with God. My grandmother, her testimonial song was, let Jesus fix it for you. He knows just what to do. Whenever you pray, let him have his way, and he will fix it for you. You know, that kind of old school, you know. When we have the group sing, I'll have them do maybe, shine on me, shine on me, let the light from the lighthouse shine on me, let the light from the lighthouse shine on me. That kind of thing, gospel music. It's a moving element. During the 50s, there was a man called Joe Mays, and I think he did something like this. I believe in that old time religion. Makes me know when I'm right with the Lord. I believe in that old time religion that my mother received long ago, that kind of thing. And then, of course, it changed. It went through a number of different artists during the years. There's also all kinds of things you can do with gospel music. But however, today it's taking another turn. Of course, let's say Kirk Franklin. Then he started adding some elements into it that were different from what was traditional. And then that grabbed a hold. And of course, you have some artists now who do a different kind of thing. And it's almost like love songs that are making love with God, with Jesus. Some people don't care for even the older contemporary gospel. It's about what does the word say? What message is it delivering? And does it go from heart to heart and at the same time relate to a genuine connection to the Father up above? Does it tell the story of the meaning of Christ? Does it relate hope? Does it testify about one's faith? And if it does not do those things, then it's in the wrong place.
I soon will cross that golden shore along the white road and sing the songs we sang before.
There is a difference between what is sacred and what is secular. And some of them are crossing the line between being sacred and secular. And so you have to discriminate in what you do. And I find that some music is more fitted for the concert stage than it is for a religious service. Because the one's going to relate to God, another's just going to relate to one's emotions, and that emotion may not be a spiritual emotion.
Pass me not, O gentle Savior. Hear my humble cry. While on others thou art calling, do not pass me by. I'm calling you, Savior.
In a moment, we'll have more on the Heritage Choir itself. But first, Louisiana is awash in opportunities to get to grips with the arts. Here are a few coming your way in the weeks to come. That's just a taste. For more, pick up a copy of Country Roads magazine or online. You can also watch or rewatch any episode of Art Rocks anytime. So just visit lpb.org/artrocks. Back to the Heritage Choir. The men and women who belong to this choir all live in Baton Rouge. Some of them have received special training, but most honed their craft in church choirs, school choirs, and in the communities that surround and support them. Choir director Clarence Jones has been a high school music teacher, a school principal, and director of church choirs for close to 6 decades. He tells us more about how his choir came into existence.
In 1976, I started a group and I called it Heritage. I realized that gospel music, of course, is very, very powerful. I love gospel music. I'm not putting it down at all. But you cannot forget where you came from. If you don't understand where all of this stuff started from, you don't know where you're going. I felt like this was the only thing that our people had to share with us. They did not have a lot of land, did not have a lot of money. Many of the earthly things that we treasure, they did not have to pass us. But the song, the things that brought them through, the faith, their religion, these were the things that they left for us. I've traveled Orlando, Palm Beach, Huntsville, and outside of the country. I took them to Mexico City to the Mexican International Choral Festival. Went to the American Church in Paris. We sang at the Vatican for Pope John Paul. Many times we're invited to sing for festivals. It's an outside performance, but being an a cappella group, we're more suited to sing in church groups. Sometimes I do things that I'll play for them. But this group was organized to preserve and restore the singing of the Negro spiritual.
I've been mute and I've been scorned. I've been talked about, shows you.
And that'll do it for this edition of Art Rocks. But as always, there are more shows to explore at lpb.org/artrocks. And if you can't get enough culture, Country Roads magazine makes a great resource for finding out what's going on in arts and events and in all destinations all over the state. So until next week, I've been James Fox Smith, and thanks to you for watching.
Art Rocks is made possible by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting and by viewers like you.